Never the mind's fault. It's always the interest which I live from that, so it's lack of love of that, and then I blame the mind, as if the mind has a meaning, or as if it's the mind's fault. It's never the mind's fault. It's always the lack of love of that interest somewhere else. And then I go back and cry, oh, but the mind, you know, it's never the mind's fault.
Maybe the owner? There's no fault. There's no fault. But that's why it's beautiful to see that everything will look the same. So the mind will look like working in the same way, and there is no problem with that. The problem is when somebody wants to expect something from the mind, something else, or desire this thing or that thing, that it is changed, that it should not be like the way it is, and all these things which comes from the owner of the mind. Otherwise, things are as they are, and there is no problem with that. Actually, it's the color that somebody gives. Yes. You see, maybe whatever is seen, when you don't want, when there is no movement to change anything, it's not even called mind. That's what it is said. The mind itself is that. When you are freed from this hook that you want something out of everything or out of nothing. And it's called mind when there is somebody who wants something out of whatever is in front of him. Then it's called mind. The same thing is called that itself. What else? Something else? What has been touched that could be digged a bit more? I don't remember. Yesterday or the day before. Since yesterday, experiences have changed, mood has changed, everything has changed, of course, but in all of that, what stayed totally clear and now is also totally clear that
that the past is just a thought because I have to go make actually a big effort to get to it.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah.
So that stayed very consistent through all of that.
Yeah.
And
Great.
also a misunderstanding I had. I was always trying to produce silence.
Ah, great. Great, you saw
Not
that.
very successful.
Yeah. Yeah. Not
So I got to
success.
see yesterday that
Ah. That was the
that's
wrong
not
movement.
at all that. So my question now really, what is next?
Why do you want the next? Who suggests you that there is a next? No, now you
I
take.
know it is. I mean, there is an I. I feel a sense of I is there. Not an I in the sense of a story, but just I.
Are you sure that
It's-
I can stay long without the story?
That
Can
I
you, are you sure that that sense of I can stay long without the story? Because you say, I have a sense of I
yes.
with no story. Now make sure that this sense of I is it there without the story for a long time? Just tell me. Is it possible?
No, at the moment
Is it?
it's
Tell
I.
me. You don't glue anything at the eye. Who told you that there is a sense of I? From where this information?
There's this moment.
Yeah. Then yeah.
I would call it I.
Why you call it I? Why you want to reduce a moment to I? Tell me now. What does it mean I? Where do you see it?
The I comes from. There's still a sense of separation.
Okay. Then you have an experience of separation. I feel separation. That's more correct than to say just a sense of I without any story. To experience separation is a story. It's part of the story. Huh? Okay? It's an experience too much. Because it keeps I alive. And what could it be, this sense of separation? From where it comes from? In the moment, the concept of separation, from where it could come, you have to dig in the past to bring that. You are not in the moment. Tell me more. Yeah.
There's no thought with it. It's just feeling of me and you. There's still me and you.
Yeah, but okay. But you look at what to see me and you?
look at bodies.
You look at bodies. Okay. Do you
look at
need to look?
physical-
Do you need to look at bodies to know who you are? Is it neat because you looked at all the bodies in the world that you search, who am I? Because the bodies started to trouble you, to make you feel separation, and then you want to search the one, the unity, the yourself. But it's not in the separated bodies. That feeling comes much more prior to the feeling and the experience of bodies. If you look at me and you as bodies, you come back again. It will be a seed of the whole world. It looks like now it's reduced to that, but it's a seed, you see. So you have to be where you already are when you are not fascinated by this I and you. There is no I for long if there is no you. I agree. So you cannot say that there is an I alone. It comes with you. Now if we remove you and I, are you left in bodies? Tell me quickly. No. Okay. Here I call this the present, the instant, the moment. That's what you are. And don't shift from here. Here it makes sense that I say life plays on you. You don't need to do anything. Don't shift from here. Anything you tell, it's a very good moment, and if there is nothing, you tell also, and if there is anything, you tell not, and you do whatever you want, but we have to make it. Where are you now?
I'm
Back. Okay, you are back. Okay, where? Let's do it. You will really see the you. That's it's only a shift. Where are you back?
I'm
To
back in the body.
circumstances. Okay, but so where were you before you feel you are back?
Yes.
So you were somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay, what was it? Let's go back there.
It was a shift. It was as if all the bodies are in me.
Okay. Okay.
And then zoom. Like
Okay, but the zoom is I and you coming back at once. But if you know that this I and you is just a thought, is just what passes, doesn't need a print. It doesn't need to ask why and how and to remove it. It just passes. What happens if you move from who you are before? Tell me, you have seen something. This I and you, or let's say only I, but it includes you, okay? You agree? You have seen it disappeared or not, disappearing or not.
yes.
Okay, so
For short.
yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It may be short, but it did.
It disappeared.
It was not there. So what is this which disappears, comes and goes? What is this? It's like what that you know? Tell it. It's enormous, but you have to tell it. What could it be? If I tell you a monkey, what is a monkey? A monkey.
I know what a monkey is.
It's a thought. It's just a thought. You are not interested in that thought, so it goes. You don't even feel you grasp it. Isn't it? If I disappeared even for a single slightest quarter of a second, it means it's the same nature as any other thought. Now this thought as the Shakti, it brings concrete bodies, it brings a full creation. Now we will not start to be impressed. It's wonderful. It's amazing. But I shall not be impressed because I know now it's not real. It comes, it goes. It's a thought. And if I can see all that, I'm not that. I'm prior to that, ever. That's what I am. And you came here to search who am I. So, prior to anything. Then,
It doesn't. The other thoughts, I recognize it as thoughts.
yeah, sure.
With it's not so easy to.
No, because it's the root. It's the root. You see, of course. But if you keep very quiet, not hooking at thoughts that you already know and you can, it looks easily let go. Can this I stay by itself? That's what I want you to see. You see. What becomes of this I if you don't glue anything at it? I want you to see it's really a root cause of a thought, but it's still a thought. It's including in thoughts in the mind, this I.
What makes it so different with another thought, it's like I don't believe the thought or reject the thought or let it go. This one,
Yeah, but you speak of this I. How come? Can you speak of something that you are? What is this I? What is this phantom? Is there an I, first of all? We have to see. I comes into an existence because of something glued to it. There is no I without anything. Then what's left? Where are you now? Tell me. We have to work on that.
I'm just with what's left, with the raw, pure sense of I, without
But can I ask you why you call it a sense of I? What's
because of the sense of separation.
okay? So that we come back.
Yeah,
So
when I'm
okay,
gone
doesn't
first.
matter. So I has a feeling of separation from itself, from where?
No, from you.
Ah,
Still,
I
or
separated
from the
from.
mountain, or from the sand.
Okay. Okay. And why you keep that experience? Because you think it's more real than any other
I don't want
experience?
to keep it. Very ready to not keep it.
Okay. Okay. So you don't want to keep it?
No.
Then why you keep it? There is a belief that what you experience is real. Yeah, that's why, isn't it? Whatever you experience is not, it belongs to the body and the mind. It doesn't belong to the reality. Whatever you experience, you can experience enlightenment. It's an experience. It's not real. So if you prefer, you will go from the experience of separation to the experience of union. Is it more true? You want that? I don't want you to be stuck there. I want you to drop the belief that it has anything true in it. I don't want you to search anything. I want you to drop the belief that anything the I experiences is real. It's a belief. Be with that. Don't think over it. Be with that. Let it sink. And you see. You see this, that's why there is no path here. You feel ignorant, or you feel the pain of separation. Anything which makes you start a search. So that, if you feel ignorant, you will think the solution is to be enlightened. If you feel separated, the solution is to be one, is to be united. You see, it's all a search, and you will go to some achievement. Here there is no path which is suggested. I just like to show you that to feel ignorant or to feel separated is already a wrong belief. Then you don't need to go through the whole search to attain something else. You are at the proper place already just now. It is just little, just even if it is gross or little, veiled by this hook at the belief that what you experience as separation is real. It's just your veil, that's all. It has to go. You have not to reach anyway. Yeah. Just a carpet. A carpet too much. Huh? That's all. Carpet too much. You have to make it. You have to. You agree not to listen to any doubt about this? Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So at least you just keep one thing. Okay. You don't listen to any doubt. You know that stuff already. So that thing, just see. You will laugh. You will laugh. Oh, why do I like so much to keep it? Of course, it's because the sense of I exists this way, you see? But
At the moment, it is not doubt. At the moment, it is doing. It is trying to do something. Like when you said it's just veil. It's trying to remove the veil.
No. It's not like that. The veil, you create yourself the veil. You just have to do absolutely nothing, because actually you do something, you hook. You have not to do anything. You have to be quiet, so quiet that you don't have even the slightest energy to hook at something. So quiet. As your background is, as you are. You see, a belief doesn't disappear when you push it or when it disappears when you don't look at it. When you don't look at it. Everything exists because you look at it. You give power with your look or interest. It can be, anybody can have a different way to say, but you see? So it doesn't exist, but this is too much for the mind to listen. It exists only because of your belief. Anyway, keep quiet. Keep so quiet. It may disappear by itself. Just be concerned to be quiet. Just be concerned to be quiet. So any rising of I is not quietness. Any rising of I is not quietness. So be more quiet than that. That may do. Very good. You don't go anywhere else, huh? At least if you go somewhere, go to that. You don't go anywhere else, huh?
Yeah. Since yesterday it was so beautifully peaceful.
Yeah.
At the moment,
Yeah.
it's just armies
Attacks?
of
Sure.
attack.
Oh, sure. Doubts. That's what I told you. Don't look at the army of doubts which will attack you. Attack you. Sure.
Nothing quiet at the moment.
Oh yes. Oh yes. You will be in trouble, but at the same time, don't worry. Don't worry. Because it's not pleasant. Don't worry. You just be one-pointed. Keep quiet. Let that storm come. You have that strength? I know. You have to make it one day. Isn't it? I mean, we have to. We have to. What is this? Hello.
I will it come back again and again and again and again? It will come back again and again.
But tell me, did
It
it
will
come
be-
back?
Again, this I.
No, I asked you, did it come back?
It's my experience.
Okay, and then what's the problem?
Nothing, I ask you.
Of course it will come back. Otherwise you are in samadhi. I prefer to be real than to be in samadhi.
Yeah.
But it's the mind. Is it understandable? The mind. No? Mining.
It's undermined.
Undermined.
Yeah.
It's undermined.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. you know my language. Undermined.
Undermined.
Yeah.
That's a what a word. It's undermined.
It's undermined.
I got this word because Papaji was a mining engineer, so he had to undermine many things. So some people, when they got the experience of being nobody, they don't speak anymore with I. Yeah, they say he or this, their names or whatever. But to me, it's still kind of, it's not necessary,
Yeah.
you see, because this I will come back. You can use I. Are you fearful when you see that the snake is a rope? You can use the rope. Even if sometimes in the dark you still see the snake, but you know so well it's a rope that then what? You can still use it? like that, no? We have not to trust the experiences of the senses and of the thoughts. Absolutely not. They will always tell you it's true. It's so true, you experience it, so it must be true. No, it's not like that. Oh, nice, very nice. Otherwise, you stay in the Mount Kailash if the eye doesn't come back. Huh? That's why I speak. Mount Kailash contains the foot of the mountain and the top, but the foot also. It's nice, very nice. Yes, yes. Nothing.
Not about today.
Attends, hein?
À propos de maintenant, not about today.
Yeah,
But you clarify
yeah,
something
yeah, sure.
for me, and I'm sure that something will make me afraid a bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe not.
It's about movement. What kind of movement you can do when you are quiet if there is no desire? You know?
Aha. But,
It seems to me that when you are quiet,
yeah,
why do you get up? You go somewhere or you do something.
you see, that is not under your control. That is the... I speak very rarely about this because I don't want to give a concept. But it's the destiny of the body and the mind. It's not under your control. So the why is just belonging to the I who is fearful still. You see, what I will do nothing. You don't know, nobody knows, and you have to take the risk. Otherwise you will never be really quiet. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We are in Kali Yuga, don't worry.
Pardon?
We are in Kali Yuga, we can get free and be ever our life still. I just give a nice hope, but
I'm not sure to understand.
we are in Kali Yuga, means in the Yuga where you don't need to be a yogi and so on. We are people very active. We are all Rajasic people, very active, if not Tamasic, but that's hard then. But still,
Okay.
I mean, if you are at the top of the sattva, maybe you just lie down like Ramana and people come to you, or not. You may remain unknown, but still I see a lot of activity, don't worry. But I don't want to console you. You have to remove this fear. This is not up to you to think of that. That's all. Really. Because you see, if you keep a single hook in your mind, like, oh, I wish to remain the same in my life, or I wish not, depends. It's a hook at the bank of the river where you dip, and you will have to come back for that hook. So don't have hooks. Then you don't need to come back to anything, and this takes care by itself. That's why people have glimpses, because they dip by luck, they dip, but then they have so many dresses to dress on again and hook that they love, that they come back in and out all the time because of that. So don't do that. Just inshallah. You know, this, of course. Huh? I knew a couple, you are a couple, so, and they were very, I mean, it was like they had very little veil left, let's speak like that. They were very serious in the path, let's say like that. And at some point I saw they were stuck and I didn't know what's going on, what happens. And one day, one of them told me, I'm so afraid that if I get enlightened, I lose my husband. But it was a secret, telling to me. And the other, little later, said, if my wife gets enlightened, what I will done? I will have to take care of her. What shall I do? So I cannot be free. So you see, don't enter into those considerations. Be absolutely free from worries. Worries about what will become of my life. Yeah, absolutely. Some, they become very much more alive because there is no fear which paralyzes them, you see.